From PEP Radio News, this is the Hourly News Blast. Advocate is reporting Trump's education secretary claims schools are secretly transitioning children. They aren't. Education Secretary Linda McMahon claimed that federal investigations in 3 states found public school officials helping children socially transition at school while keeping that information from their parents. McMahon made the sweeping claim in an interview with Fox News' Sunday Morning Futures, where host Maria Bartiromo asked about evidence that there are certain schools in certain counties that are encouraging transitions for kids and hiding it from their parents. Ooh. This is a travesty that parents are not considered first and foremost in charge of their children. They don't belong to the government, McMahon said. Within hours, the Education Department announced a crackdown on school districts secretly transitioning students and hiding it from parents. The agency said it had taken significant action against Anne Arundel County Public Schools in Maryland and Ann Arbor Public Schools in Michigan, and that the Justice Department would pursue enforcement action against the districts. The announcement followed Education Department findings that the districts had treated information about a student's gender identity as part of the student's private medical or educational record, information that, in some circumstances, could be kept confidential from a parent or legal guardian. As a mother and a grandmother, it is unconscionable that any school district would hide the most sensitive information about children in their care from their own parents. This is not only an affront to basic moral principles, but also to parents' rights under federal law, McMahon said in a statement. One Maryland example involved parents who did learn that their child was using a different gender identity at school. Forms sent home referred to the child with he, him pronouns, but the school's principal declined to provide the parents with further information about the change. Today, the Education Department and the Department of Justice are putting districts on notice that we will use every tool available to hold them to account for this egregious behavior. Under the Trump administration, the Education Department and the Department of Justice are working together to vigorously uphold parents' federal protections, and we will work to ensure that no parent is ever kept in the dark about important matters relating to their children. Blah, blah, blah. In her Fox News interview, McMahon also said the Education Department was exploring whether to withhold federal funding from the Burlington School District in Vermont over separate allegations involving a student survey. She said with the district surveyed 7th grade students about sex and drug and alcohol use without parental consent. This is really outrageous, and to hide it from parents and actually create a separate file folders so that when parents ask to see their children's records, that is being kept from them. It's being done on purpose. So we're just not going to stand for it, McMahon told Fox News. The Justice Department warned that districts withholding information from parents could face legal consequences. School districts that hide information from parents are violating federal law, said Assistant Attorney General Harmeet Dillon. FERPA, the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, is not optional, and any districts that attempt to bypass or distort its requirements should expect immediate federal action. In partnership with the Department of Education, the Department of Justice will initiate enforcement proceedings with districts that fail to comply. Despite Linda McMahon's characterization, then the department's inflammatory headline, the joint announcement from the Justice and Education Departments offered no evidence that schools were encouraging children to transition. Instead, it cited policies or individual cases in which educators declined to disclose a student's gender identity without the student's consent, largely because they knew the parents just might be transphobic or homophobic bigots. And therefore, the children's lives and homeless status could be in jeopardy if that information had been revealed. McMahon, a bigot and a transphobe herself, has previously threatened to withhold federal funding from Kansas school districts over similar allegations. America First Legal, an organization funded by White House advisor Stephen Miller Goebbels, has funded lawsuits challenging policies intended to protect LGBTQ plus students from being involuntarily outed throughout Maryland. That is a lot of crap coming from Washington. Unfortunately, that's the news blast for this hour. PEP Radio is available on the Live 365 app, the homepage at paequality.com, Roku, Alexa, and wherever you find streaming radio. Up next, we have the Meadville area weather forecast here on PEP Radio.